I'm now honoured to be joined by Steve Spender, the Chief Executive of the Institute of Highway Engineers. Together, the IHE and Highways magazine have worked together for years to provide the sector with a voice, with training, and with a sense of community. Steve, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Dominic, and thank you for asking me to join you. It's a great pleasure to be here and to discuss the Institute of Highway Engineers and its relationship with the Highway Excellence Awards and Highways magazine in general.
Honour. So, Steve, could you sum up for us, if you can, what exactly this year has been like for the IHE and for the wider sector?
The IHE has had, like every organisation, a very, very difficult year. From a personal perspective, as you're aware, I took over as chief executive in February last year, so it's been quite a traumatic experience for me in terms of dealing with COVID and the impact of COVID. As far as the Institute is concerned, we are predominantly a membership organisation, as you know, but we also have a vast influence in the sector in terms of delivering training, supporting professional progression, supporting universities, and that has been impacted significantly this year. In March, when the lockdown started, we'd already started to plan a removal from our offices to work remotely, but we also needed to look at our training base because we deliver all of our training up until last March as face-to-face classroom training. We also attended a lot of conferences and a lot of seminars and the like, in which we actually met with the sector to find out what the sector needed from us, how we could support the sector, and how we could actually deliver training that met the needs. That dropped off a cliff face, unfortunately. So what we've had to do is to refigure ourselves this year in terms of how we might now deliver training in a different way. We're looking at how we can actually deliver training online. And some of that has been done during this past year, although like every organisation, we've faced real difficulties in how we find the right platform and the right media to actually take training forward to our members and to the wider sector. I think the sector as a whole has actually begun to realise the challenges that it's faced over the COVID and the impact of COVID. I think what it has allowed the sector to do is to be recognised by government and the general public as being key workers, as being key influencers in making sure that we can keep the country moving despite the restrictions. We can make sure that the roads are still fit for purpose so that the delivery vehicles can get there. Emergency vehicles can still do their bit. And a lot of our members, and I know a lot of people within the sector, have actually embraced some of the challenges that have gone on and become involved in a lot of social elements in terms of supporting people that are less well off, supporting people that are in situations where they're lonely or isolated. So I think that we've adapted as an industry. In terms of our progression and we're supporting our members, our membership this year has stayed very, very firm. In fact, we've had an increase in membership this year. We've gone up by 4%, which is really, really good news, which shows the importance of membership, of professional recognition, but also the community and the family ethos that's within our industry and within our sector.
Steve, we've talked a lot in the press and in society about building back better, making sure that when we emerge from this crisis, we'll be a stronger country. In terms of the sector, the IHE, with its suite of training and its membership community, is going to be at the very heart of that. So looking ahead, how do you hope the IHE and the sector itself can go from strength to strength?
It's always been my desire from the conversations that we've had in the past that we build a really, really strong relationship with the sector, with the deliverers within the sector. That's all of the service providers as well as the clients within the sector, to find out how we can best support the sector to meet the needs and the pressures that have been put on clients to meet the government's objectives, building back better, making sure we're more efficient, making sure we're meeting the green agenda, making sure that we become as efficient, as effective as possible in terms of our service delivery. And I think that we've started to touch base with a number of our contacts within the sector to find out how and what training schemes we can put in place to meet some of those additional pressures that might be on. I think the government is putting a lot of pressure on the construction sector as a whole, not just the highway sector, but on construction as a whole, to actually up their game, to actually make sure that what we produce is not only done in the most economically viable way, but in the greenest way possible, to meet the sustainability elements that are there, but to also make sure that we can respond as quickly as possible. The government is under extreme pressure to make sure that going forward, we have the right infrastructure in place. And I think that will continue to be a challenge. We will continue to listen to work with our colleagues that are delivering, and to see what we can do to actually support that and develop enhanced training to meet those needs.
So we've got a lot of changes ahead, but one thing I hope that will never change is the relationship between Highways Magazine and the IHE. You can read the IHE exclusively in Highways Magazine every month. Strong friends and firm supporters of each other. Steve, thank you very much for supporting the Highways Excellence Awards once again. Can you tell us what this event means to you personally and to the sector after such a difficult year?
To me personally, as you're aware, I've been very fortunate in the past to be not only a president of the Institute of Highway Engineers, but a head judge in the Highway Excellence Awards judging, and I have seen and I have experienced the real effort and the real desire that your entrants put in to the Highway Excellence Awards. What it does is it recognises, the Highway Excellence Awards recognises the true talent that's out there within our sector, recognises the steps that we're taking forward in terms of delivering innovation, delivering efficiency, making sure we're meeting that sustainability agenda, making sure that we are promoting the best way that we can. And this is where highways support the sector really, really well. They are a key awards within the sector. They are the one awards that I can tell you from my own personal experience, having seen the depth, the detail, and the enthusiasm that's put into those entries that are put in, that the sector really, really recognises the Highway Excellence Awards as the award to demonstrate their involvement in the highway sector.
Thank you very much, Steve. Well, we wish the IHE the best of luck for the coming year, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dominic, and thank you very much for the opportunity for me to speak to you today.